Hi there. Welcome to my corner of the workshop. I kind of I try and do all my own personal jobs in this corner, but because I'm working on other stuff for work in the week. I'm going to introduce you to my first project that we're going to be doing here. Now, my first project, for better or worse, and I'm going to get ribbed for this by my mates because they think I build superbikes all the time. I have bought this beautiful little Honda CD200 Benley. It's a rose-tinted spectacle purchase for me. Back in the day when I was 17 or 18, which is 40 years ago, I was dispatch riding in London. I had a Honda 550 riding for World's End Dispatch, and they had a fleet of these. They had loads of them, and riders rented them each week. Now, I had my own bike, a Honda 550, but occasionally it would be off the road, either from dropping it, or it needed servicing, or it had broken down. And I used to rent one of these off them for a few days or a week or whatever. And this used to cut the mustard in London, ducking and diving in the traffic. And they're a great little bike. They're really kind of underrated. They're kind of bomb-proof, hopefully. And they're just a lovely little thing. They're a little workhorse. They're not flashy. But you could earn a decent living on one of these back in the day. And they were great fun in the London traffic. So with rose-tinted spectacles, I really, for a while, wanted to do one of these. Now, look, I've been looking for 6 months, and I chanced across this one, and I looked at it. I thought it was kind of what I wanted. I wanted a bit of a project. I couldn't afford to go out and buy a mint one because they are serious money now. And I thought, I'll get one that needs a bit of work and see how it goes. So this is the bike. Generally, I think it's all right. I'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. But first, the other reason I bought this one is because it came with a load of bits. I couldn't believe my luck. So with it, I'll just put my tea down. You've always got to have tea on the go when you're in the workshop. I've got some brand new old stock Benley rims. I think these are fairly rare. I think they're quite a lot of money actually. So I've got those, which is great. So that'll save me a bit of money down the line. Well, film me trying to spoke them. I build bicycle wheels, no problem. I've never actually done motorcycle wheels. My mates tell me that these are easier than bicycle. We'll wait and see on that. But I've got the originals to copy. I haven't got to cut the spokes out and left with a rim and a hub and work out how it goes. So I can whip the back wheel out, get a rim, and we're away. I've got a new rear tyre, because that one is absolutely bald. The other thing with this is, it's 1980, so it's tax and MOT exempt. But obviously I wouldn't ride around on a bike with bald tyres anyway, so it has to be road legal, even though you don't need an MOT. It's got to be up to snuff, and I wouldn't enjoy riding a wreck anyway. So I've got, I mean, it's a bit Teflon like this thing, but I'm sure it's fine for the performance of that. It's not a Pirelli Corsa, but that'll do, and it was free with the bike, so that'll be going on. I've got some tyre levers and some soap to get that on, so that'll be going on. When I got the bike back here, well actually when I was buying it, I was chatting to the guy and I said, chain guard's missing. Have you got the chain guard? He goes, oh, it's here somewhere, but I can't find it. He said, if I find it, I'll message you, and you can have it for nothing. So anyway, I got the bike back here, got it out the van, a text arrived from him, I found the chain guard, so that's great. These were workhorses. I am going to have this on. Normally I strip bikes down and make them leaner and faster and all the rest of it, single race seats and all that kind of thing. This bike is not about that. This is a workhorse, and these keep all the gunge off the chain, and it makes them last forever. You keep that chain lubed and you rarely have to change them. So that's great, I've got those, that'll be going back on. And they quite suit the style of it. It's a shopping bike. And now look, also, I got all this. I couldn't believe my luck. So let's just have a look. I haven't really had a proper rummage in here. The sort of air filters. There's a locking fuel cap. That's got no rubber in it. Actually, that won't fit this bike. That's not with that. So this can kind of happen when you get a project. I think they throw everything in a bag. But there's another air filter there. That has a foam on it. On these, they're great. You wash it out with white spirit and then put gear oil on it. You don't have to buy an air filter every service. Also, these don't have an oil filter. There's a strainer. So they're really cheap to run. You've got to change the oil in them really regularly. They've only got like 1.25 litres or something. and there's no filter, so it's critical with these if you want to keep them running. They're bomb-proof if you do. Oil every 1,000 miles, but they only hold 1.5 litres, and it's semi-synthetic. I've got loads of it on the shelf, so we will be dumping the oil because this hasn't been run for 3 or 4 years. The oil's clean in it, but look, for a couple of quid, change the oil, ride it probably 100 miles, and then flush it out again. That's always precautionary with an unknown quantity, which that is. We've got a little tub here. What's in here? Oh, look, tank mounting rubber. I don't know, maybe it's missing when I get the seat off. You don't know. There's loads of rubbers and seat rubbers, and I think there's bits off several bikes in here. So that's a load of, there's a fuel tap in there. What else have we got? There's a mud guard. Chrome kind of gone on it. The one on it's lovely. We won't be changing that, but that's a good spare. We might list some of this on an auction site to get some money towards the build, which is always a great thing when you get a box of stuff like this. So there's a mud guard. We seem to have side panels. Oh, they're for a 185 Bentley, which is exactly the same. It's just got slightly smaller pistons in. Oh God, we've got some side panels. If anyone needs a side panel, give me a call. Look, here we go. How many have I got? There's 2 on the bike and those. Oh, we've even got... But that's off the 185. That's not the right sticker for this one. So someone who's got a 185 Bentley might be in luck. Oh, there's another one. So that goes there. Look, the badge there. So that could go on these. So I'll probably sell all this off. I don't think we need it. There's a rear light. Now I will keep that because you never know if someone hits the back of that or you reverse it into a wall at a car park or something. So that's good. And it's a genuine Honda one, which is nice. There are pattern ones and they're not as nice as the originals. They are a bit cheaper, so that's nice to have. And also, I've got a CB125 twin that'll fit, so that's useful. Oh, look, I've got a headlamp with the glass. That's useful. That's that. This is great. I love this. It's like Christmas for me, this. Oh, there's the side panel chrome trims. How many got a new header pipe. Now these exhausts have been painted silver. It looks awful. I can see a welding repair, that's why it's been done. But these exhausts are a fortune from Honda, they're £1,000. However, David Silver spares, where they're great for old Hondas, that's what they do, they've got aftermarket ones that look very, very similar. They're 38 quid a side, so we will get a pair of them and put them on to jazz it up. And with the new wheels, that'll start looking really tidy. I'm not doing this as a mint restoration, which is a museum piece. I want to use this thing. I can't wait to bumble around the lanes on it in the summer, go to the lake, sit on the bank. That's what I'm going to use it for. Nip into town to pick stuff up and have a cup of tea. This is a working bike. We are not doing a mint restoration. I think it'll be fairly tidy and presentable and a lovely little bike. So that's what we're aiming for here. It's not going to be a museum piece. What we got here? We've got indicators. Those aren't Bentley. I tell you what, they look like Moto Guzzi Ducati to me. They do with this shape. I had a Ducati Panther with that on. They were chromed, but they were that shape. I don't know what they are. I'm just guessing there. Another headlamp. Oh, here we go. Now these are useful. On my 125, I've had to make a side stand. It didn't come with one. They were an optional extra. I've just put ordinary bolts in. These are the actual genuine ones. So I'll be putting those on my 125. And I've got a spare footrest bar and side stand. Having a side stand on these is really useful, and not all of them have it. So I won't be selling that, actually. I'll keep that. I've got a spare side stand and footrest, because if you drop it and bend them, that's a useful thing to have. Now what's in here? Oh look, we've got brand new chrome trims still in the wrapping. So we'll look at those. If those are a bit tarnished, we'll be putting those on to jazz it up. Got another indicator, not Bentley, I don't know what that's of. I've just seen something in these bags that I'll show you in a minute. I'm really excited by this. I didn't know I had this. There's a mudguard stay, look, with the speedo cable guide so it doesn't get caught in the wheel. Ignition coil. Makes me wonder, has he had electrical trouble? That might be a warning sign rather than a benefit. But we'll see, it could just be, you know, he's rounded up bits. You know, you buy job lot, pillion footrest. That's the right one for this bike, so that's cool. Another random indicator. Oh look, here we go, there's the wiring. There's a headlamp wiring. So if we've got an electrical issue, we've got a spare with those. Oh, that is the bulbs for the warning lights. So that's cool. Some kind of engine mounting plate or something. You know, I don't know these bikes inside out. I've never actually owned one. The one I used to ride was hired. So I'm not an expert on these at all. But, you know, you use your biking knowledge and generally just have a look. Oh, side panel badges. I saw one of them was missing some, so that'll be off there. Looks like a shelf fixing. That's nothing to do with the motorbike that I recognise. Now, we're nearly there's another ignition coil. This is getting worrying. Hopefully it's got a spark when you put a battery in it. This battery on this, when you turn the key, absolutely nothing. It's completely goosed, so it's going to need a new battery. But it's 6 volt. These are 6 volt. So forget plugging in your electric heated bike jacket. You're going to have to freeze. So unless someone does do a 6 volt one, mine's 12 volt, so that won't work. And oh, what's in here? There's a bicycle spanner, a Jubilee clip. Schrader valve caps. Look at that lovely little tin. I like that. That'll just sit on the shelf. It's got something in it. I don't know what's in here. Oh, I can't open it. Which way does that open? No, that way. God, blimey. I'll have to get that open later. No, we'll have a look at that. But look at that. That's a lovely... I love little things like that. Old little tin. Lovely. Got a spare gear change with a huge gear change rubber. That'll stop you bruising your toes when you're going for a racing shift. Spokes. I know for a fact you can buy spoke kits for these, and they're only about 30 quid a wheel. That's why I know I'm going to lace these up. But the brilliant thing is here, check this out. These, I can't believe my luck here. To help make a bike tight, it's always nice. Wheels can always let a bike down. Look, brand new hubs. There's a front one, that's the speedo drive bit there. And here, a brand new rear hub. So look, we can, if I buy a spoke kit, we've got the new rims. I've got one new rear tyre. That's perfectly acceptable. We can jazz the wheels up. What, 60 quid to have a brand new set of wheels on a Bentley? I mean, that's just like fantastic. So, and a spare 6 volt horn, has it got one on it? Yeah, it's got one on there. I don't know if it works because the battery's goosed, haven't been able to check it. So look, I didn't pay a lot for it. I've got all these bits. I'll keep these until I get it finished and then I'll sell off at the end what I don't need. I don't think I'm going to need these. I don't think I'm going to need the mudguard. I'll keep the headlamps, especially the glass, in case you smash that. They can be quite difficult to get a nice genuine glass. And I've got hubs and rims. And I've got the chain guard. So, all in all, I think it's a good, great thing. And now, let's go and look at the actual bike itself. And I'll give you a bit of a fill-in on why I actually bought this one. I'm just going to give a little heads up now about you choosing your project. It's important to kind of have a clear vision in mind of what bike you want and what you need it to do for you. So look, with me, the loose parameters were, I wanted something that wasn't an absolute wreck where I've got to pick through everything. Budget was important. I didn't have a big budget. So obviously set your budget lines, know what bike you're looking for, do your homework on it. Well, to be honest, I didn't do a lot of homework. I used to ride these back in the day. They've got a great reputation as a little workhorse in reliability, so that's not too much of an issue. Parts generally available. I'm sure you can get caught out, and maybe we will with something that's unobtainable and that takes a while to source and sort out. but generally parts are available. There are pattern parts around as well, so that's an issue for me. And I wanted something that isn't too much work. So I went to, well, I was looking for 6 months at these generally, and they were all too much money, and they weren't in any better condition than this. So I hunted around, and then on a Sunday morning I chanced across this in a local advert. It was only in Bedford, which is 11 miles away, and I was straight down there. And when I got there, I was pleasantly surprised. You know, I looked, what do you go on when you're picking a project? Well, just your gut feeling, really. Is it what you're looking for? And the general condition. Now, the reasons I went for this one, fairly straightforward, really. Generally, it's unmolested. It's a very genuine bike. It hasn't got wrong handlebars and indicators, and I like it because it's very genuine. Condition-wise, pretty good. Bear in mind, this is 40 years old. The paintwork's all right. All the tinware's on it. The front mudguard, I know they rot. They used to rot when they were fairly new when we were dispatching on them. That's in great condition, and they're unobtainable. You can get pattern ones, but that's in great condition. And look, just generally, I think this is pretty good for 40 years old. Yes, the exhausts are scabby, but we'll change them. There's now pattern ones available, 38 quid a side, plus VAT and delivery, so they'll end up 50 odd quid a side. But the genuine Honda ones are 1,000 quid. That would be out of our league and blows the project budget completely. Generally, my gut feeling with this one is it's unmolested. The wiring's not butchered. It's not all hanging out, bits of wire everywhere. The guy told me it was running when he bought it. It hasn't been run for 4 years. So I looked at the general condition. I thought that'll do, because even if there is a fault in the engine, we should be able to fix it. You do a compression test, and is it seized? I kicked it over. Bear in mind the battery is goosed, so I couldn't turn it over. I can't check anything. I can't run it. But that's got the right amount of compression. Turns freely. It's not seized. The guy said it was running. And just generally, I looked at it. I saw all the bits with it, and I thought, that's happy days. This is the perfect little project for me. Plus, I've really, really wanted one of these for years and years. At the end of the day, I'd have probably paid over the money for it if I'd had to, because I really want it. But I haven't. I think I've got a little gem. I might have to fall on my sword with that, and as we get into this, I might be going, why the hell did I buy this thing? But looking at it now, do you know what? It floats my boat. When I come in here, have a cup of tea, I sit here looking at it, and I think back to the days when I was riding these, when I was 17 or 18, and I think it's just a lovely little workhorse bike. I'm going to go to the local lakes on it, which are 10 miles away. I'll go into town for a cup of tea. My mates are going to take the mickey out of me when I turn up on this. I don't care. I love these little Hondas. And, you know, hopefully we have bought a gem. But just looking at it, it's even got the little rubbers here, you know, the weather protectors over the levers. These little rubber things, they're normally perished and gone. It's showing 23,600 miles. I think that's genuine. It's not a rusted heap. The fuel in it, I sniffed this when I went to look at it. That stinks. It smells like varnish. That fuel is gone. That is not going anywhere near the carburetor. I daren't turn the fuel on. So the tank's going to come off, be flushed out. My mate Arnie that paints my 5.4s, he's given me an internal tank stripper called Flow Liner. I don't want to use that straight away. I'm just going to get the tank off, flush it out, swill it round, chuck that fuel away, put fresh fuel in it. I suspect the carb's going to have to come off because that is so rancid. I think it'll be like varnish in the carb. But if I can get a spark, I've ordered a new battery. Well, put that on. So new battery, clean the fuel out, put new fuel in it, see if we've got a spark. I'm not going to check the timing. I'm not taking the carb off. That will be down the line. We will do it. I'm just going to see if I can get it running. And is it a rattling horror story? Does it smoke like hell? Or is it all right? Oh yeah, also the other thing, I don't know how long this oil's been in. I know it hasn't been run for 4 years. That oil's coming out is so cheap. So we'll put new oil in it. We'll probably only leave that in for its first run, get the engine warm, and then dump it again. But you go on your gut feeling, and my gut feeling is this is fairly all right. I might be completely wrong, but hopefully my gut feeling is, and my gut feeling's luckily not too often wrong. And so, for better or worse, here it is. I can't wait for my mates to take the mickey out of me riding it down the road.